welcome back to another vlog. Today we are talking all about natural birth control, what I use for birth control, what has worked for me, what hasn't. And in celebration of this video, Ali has been a little camera shy lately. We're gonna get him to introduce the vlog.
This vlog is all about natural birth control.
So before we start this vlog, I want to talk all about how I totally respect that everyone is on their own hormonal health journey and that everyone is going to be choosing and needing different forms of birth control. So just because something worked for me or didn't work for me doesn't mean you have to go and try it or you have to go and stop using it. I want to make that super clear, and I respect that everyone is in a totally different situation. And the next thing I want to talk about is how important it is to talk about different forms of birth control and family planning with your partner. And the only way that I was able to switch to a natural birth control was by having this conversation with Ali, and I think that it strengthened our relationship, and I also am just like really grateful for it because it gave us opportunities that we wouldn't have been able to get if we didn't have this conversation. So thank you, babe, for taking part of that conversation. Just stocked up on the goods. We've got some veggies, quinoa pasta, kumara, lemon, and a delicious mango. Yum. So since I'm in my luteal phase right now, I really like to eat foods that kind of go in sync with the luteal phase. So I stocked up on things like pumpkin and sweet potato and pasture-raised eggs and leafy greens and things that are just packed with like B vitamins to help get rid of like sugar cravings right before your menstrual cycle, and yeah. So I was really nervous to start this vlog makeup free, basically because I'm really embarrassed about my skin right now. And then I realized and kind of slapped myself in the face and said, Sisley, you really have to start practicing what you preach. It's so true. So today I'm gonna do this section of the vlog makeup free. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I do when I'm feeling a little disconnected or not super comfortable in my own skin. And that is having a DIY at home spa day, and I love doing this so much. I love just like dedicating a couple hours to making my body feel really good again. So for example, this morning I woke up, I did a really good like sweaty HIIT workout and some yoga because that's what my body was craving, and I felt like a whole new person. And then I hopped in the shower, I took a really nice long shower, and then I rubbed my body in coconut oil, and it just made me feel so good and really just connected to my skin and my body again. Another thing that I love doing is I have like little essential oils all around the house. So I will take these essential oils and I'll just rub them, the ones with the roll-ons, I'll rub them on my skin, or I'll diffuse them in my diffuser. So those are some things that I love doing that just help me feel more connected to my body. And now I'm gonna put on a face mask and we can chat all about birth control. So I'm kind of obsessed with face masks, and as you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, I love doing like just a simple honey mask. So I'll just take honey and I'll just put it on my face for like 30 minutes to an hour, and it works really well. But I also love trying like new fancy face masks. So I just got this one from Sukin. It's a pink clay face mask. So I'm gonna be putting this one on while I talk to you guys all about birth control, what I've used, what worked, what didn't, etc, etc. So my birth control story started when I was 15 years old, and I was taken to the doctor and put on birth control for my acne at the time. So I essentially was on this like lower estrogen birth control pill for 8 years, I want to say. In the beginning it was totally fine and I didn't have any symptoms and I felt just like a regular teenage girl, you know, a little bit emotional, going through the feels, but I didn't feel like anything was wrong until I switched birth control pills. So when I moved to Germany when I was 20 years old, I moved to Germany and I switched to a different form of birth control, and it was basically, I think, one that had higher estrogen in it. And I started seeing like the serious repercussions of what the pill could do to my body. I began developing like crazy anxiety, cystic acne, rosacea, and like rashes all over my body. I had it like all over my face, all over my back. I knew it was the birth control because it was kind of like one of the only things that changed in my life. However, a lot of other lifestyle factors played into it. Like I was under a lot of stress from moving to a new country, etc., etc. But that's kind of my story with the birth control pill. So it was great at first, it was a great option, but unfortunately it just wasn't the right one for me over time. So eventually I decided to go off the birth control pill to heal my body and kind of detox my body. And for me, this was a really easy decision. I was in the process of like actually healing my body from my cystic acne and rosacea. So it was super easy to come off of it, and for about 3 months, I felt just like a whole new person when I was off the birth control pill. So that was a really cool experience for me, until I had to make the choice again to decide on a different form of birth control. And that's when the IUD came in. The IUD, I've heard, is so different for everyone. Everybody's body is going to react differently. People have different limitations or choices, and I completely respect that. However, the IUD did not work for me, and unfortunately it just was a really stressful and traumatizing experience for me, and that's why I no longer have the IUD. Without getting into too many details, I basically just felt like a lot of pain all the time, and it just was not, my body was just not having any of it. And the IUD that I had was called the Mirena, I believe, and it had localized hormones in just the uterus. So I had that for about 1 year, and I decided I've had enough, I'm gonna go off of it. That's when I decided to ditch the IUD and get back on the birth control pill because the IUD wasn't working for me. So I decided to go back to square one. And again, shit kind of hit the fan at this point, and my body was just not having any of it. At the same time, I was going through a lot of deficiencies that the birth control pill is often associated with. So since I had been on the pill for so long, I was beginning to be deficient in things like zinc and B vitamins, and I also was super iron deficient and didn't know it. So a lot of these factors definitely played into me having a bad reaction with the pill. My body just, it didn't do well with it, and I'm not surprised because it is synthetic hormones going, like foreign hormones going into your body, and personally that just didn't work for me or sit well with me. So that didn't last long before I decided, nope, I'm not having any of it. I no longer want artificial birth control in my body. I forgot to do my face mask, so I'm gonna continue doing this while I chat with you. Basically, I didn't have a good experience with the pill or the IUD. I assumed that any other kind of birth control, like the shots in your arm, for example, or the patches or whatever you call it, would probably have the same effect. So I decided to just go au natural. And for me, this was like a really tough decision because I had never done this before and it was pretty scary. However, I was in a really good position as well because I'm with my partner who we've been together for a long time. This was a decision that we sat down together to make to move forward in our lives. So I can't stress this enough that I was just in a really lucky place where I felt really empowered to make that decision to completely go all natural with my birth control. But I know that's not the case for everyone, so I completely respect that and I see that. So what do I use now for birth control? I use something called the Daysy. So essentially the Daysy is a really smart thermometer. Essentially what you do is you take the top off here and there's a little thermometer here on the end and you just stick it under your tongue like this. and it takes your temperature every single morning. I'm usually half asleep when I do it, so I don't really have any sense of time, but I think it takes anywhere from like 30 to 60 seconds, and you just kind of lay there like this in the morning, like, and you do it before you get up, before you drink water, before you check your phone. I usually just keep it right next to my phone like this, next to the bed, so that I remember every single morning. But honestly, it's something that I just wake up now and I do automatically, and it's super easy and I never forget. So that's pretty cool. It tracks your hormonal temperatures to see when you're ovulating, when you're going to menstruate, when you're in your luteal and follicular phase. So you really get to understand your cycle phases and your hormones more as a woman, which is so empowering and so freaking cool. And the coolest thing about the Daysy is that it is 99.4% effective when using it to prevent or plan a pregnancy. So this little Daysy has so much information about my hormonal cycles, and it's all backed up through algorithms. And essentially what you do is you download the app on your phone, and then you just connect the Daysy to your app, and you have all the information stored on the app forever and ever and ever. And you can back up your data and you can give it to your doctor, to your gynecologist, and there you have all of your days. So essentially what the Daysy does is it will tell you the days when you're ovulating, when you're fertile, when you're not fertile, and when it's not so sure. So essentially the green days are okay to have unprotected sex, and then the yellow days is not so sure, so better to take caution, and red is definitely use an alternative method such as condoms. So far it's been really successful and I really like it. And if you're ever unsure about where you are in your cycle, you simply just turn the Daysy on and it'll show a little blinking light. So for me right now, I'm in my yellow phase, so it's not quite sure if I'm okay to use protection or to not use protection. So therefore it's always better to take caution. Thank you for watching this video with my insane face mask on, because I kind of look terrifying, kind of like a dinosaur. And one thing I did want to mention as well is the Daysy does take about 3 months to fully calculate your regular patterns in order to fully use it. So I've been doing this now for about 4 months. So the first 3 months there were a lot of like yellow days and red days, but now I'm starting to see more green days because the Daysy is really starting to understand my cycle and how my body works. And also their support team is absolutely incredible. I call them all the time and ask questions like, how do I travel with the Daysy? What if I'm going on like a 3-day hike? Do I carry it on the airplane? What happens if I miss a day? All these questions can be answered on their website or through their customer support line, which is incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. I hope you learned a lot about holistic sexual health, birth control, etc., etc. And I can't wait to do the second and or third part of this video series and talk more about hormone balancing and skin health and period health and all those super fun things. So if you have any questions, please leave them below and I'll make sure to answer them in the next vlog.